AdvanceCT is a public-private partnership that works with the governor and his economic development team to improve the state's business competitiveness. As president and CEO of AdvanceCT, Peter Denious has made changing the state's position in national business rankings a priority. I spoke with him about why he puts so much stock in the rankings and what the strategy is for moving the state up. So what kind of actions are you taking to improve the perception that Connecticut is a good place to do business?
Well, we have a number of initiatives, but rankings and focusing on rankings of business friendliness and other state rankings is an important component of our work to change the perception of Connecticut. And I do believe there's a lot of value in that because I think Connecticut is misunderstood and not perceived accurately and not recognized for the strengths it brings. And these surveys and these rankings are part of what feeds that perception. And so we're very, very focused on being proactive in understanding those rankings.
And so let's talk about the rankings. Do you have a few of those that you could talk about where Connecticut has made progress, and what do you attribute to that?
The one that's top of mind is the CNBC ranking, which was released, I think it was the week before last. And I'm happy to report that Connecticut moved up 11 spots in that ranking to 24th, obviously out of 50 states. And that's a very significant move. And I think a lot of factors, went into that. I will say that we spent a lot of time understanding the rankings methodology. And if you're familiar with what some graduate schools and colleges have done to sort of disaggregate and disassemble some of the surveys that are used to rank schools and graduate programs, we did very much the same thing and took a real data intensive approach to break all these rankings down, including the CNBC ranking, and look at the constituent components and see if there was a perception issue or a reality issue, and use that to inform, our strategy, as it were, to move up in rankings. We had a conversation, David Lehman and I, the governor's chief economic advisor and head of DECD, with Scott Cohn, who's the producer and sponsor from CNBC of this state ranking that was just released, and made some observations, had a discussion around methodology, talked to them about how their methodology might be changing given the pandemic and some of the factors that are now increasingly important to employers. And I don't want to, by any stretch, say that was the reason that we moved up 11 places, but I do think the fact that we showed interest, that we engaged on the topic, that we clearly understood what the factors were that were going into the survey and the sources that they were using. And in one case, we actually did recommend that they change a source. And as it turned out, they did in fact change the source to the one that we recommended. Now, was it because of us? I have no idea. But this is the kind of proactive, hands-on engagement that I think is really required for us to have any effect on moving up these rankings. So this is just part of a broader marketing push that we're making alongside our state partners and others in economic development across the state, to be very, very clear about our value proposition and about the assets that we have here. Because again, it's my contention that these are not well understood by people outside Connecticut. They tend to think of Connecticut, as my colleague likes to say, using the color spectrum as beige, kind of boring, right? Connecticut is anything but boring. We've got incredible companies. We've got an incredibly talented workforce. We have got incredible schools, healthcare, and we are a highly innovative state. And that last one is one in particular that I don't think people, when they think of Connecticut, think of us as being innovative. But we are, and we have incredible companies here that demonstrate that and drive that home. We want to get out and tell that story so that it, in effect, works its way back into these rankings and obviously helps us market the state as we think about attracting businesses here.
What is AdvanceCT working on? What's a big initiative coming down the line? What should we have our radar up for?
I'd say we are wanting and to keep up some of the announcements that you may have seen. We want to continue to get companies here, and we have some discussions ongoing that I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't want to hex it, but that there are going to be some announcements in the not too distant future. And I think, again, they demonstrate everything that I've been talking about. There's a talent need here that we're offering in both cases, two companies in particular that are top of mind. There's also a kind of a post-pandemic effect here, right? Companies rethinking their kind of urban footprint and how can they get employees back into the office. So anyway, we have a pipeline, a very active pipeline, and I think we'll be in partnership with DECD and the governor, be talking about some more companies choosing to come here. And that's probably the most exciting thing that we're focused on.
Reporting for CT News Junkie, I'm Adam Chiara.